5 mistakes that men make that absolutely destroy is not making a big deal about her, is disrespecting her. This is unnecessary lying. Because in relationships, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Relationships with EJ80 Proof. Today, I want to talk to you about 5 mistakes that men make that absolutely destroys relationships. I mean, totally annihilates them. The first one I want to talk about, number one, is not making a big deal about her or what she's done or doing. A lot of times we think that, she does this, so we say, thanks. If she does that, cool. Here you go, all right. And I mean, that's something. That's something. But sometimes when I take that back. You should always make an effort to make a big deal out of the things that she do for you. Because trust me, she don't have to do nothing for your raggedy behind. But she does them. And I think showing appreciation to her is more than cool, good job, thank you. I think you got to put a little more into it. Make a big deal. Don't just say thank you, cool, good job, but tell her why. It's cool. Hey, wow, did you really fix my lights? Because my video was so busted, but now it's going to look so much better because my lights work. Thank you. I appreciate that. My videos are going to be killing now thanks to you. It's not a lot. It don't take, but I'm like saying, she really understands why you're saying thank you, good job, and so forth. Because remember, women are very detailed oriented. They want the whole story. So give it to them. Say thank you, but tell them why you're grateful. And not just because of what she did, but because of her. Sometimes we forget about that. And the woman in our life becomes our maid or our slave or our employee. And we forget that they are the women in our life. And so sometimes you need to stop and say, hey, listen, forget all of that. I'm making a big deal about you today just because you're here. Just because you're here, because I'd be a fool to think you don't have options, because you do. But every day you pick me. That's worth making a big deal over. The second thing that we do that can destroy our relationships is disrespecting her. Disrespect is a fluid concept. Just because you called her the B word doesn't make it disrespectful. Because if she accepts that as a term of endearment, that's my bitch, then, hey, who are you to argue? That's not disrespect. That's cool. But if she doesn't accept it, it's disrespectful. We have to sit down and examine our woman in the relationship and see, what's the definition of disrespect going to be. So maybe right after she finished washing all the dishes, you go in there and put some plates in the sink and just walk away. Maybe that's disrespectful, And so she might go in behind you and wash the dishes and not say nothing. But to her, she's pissed off on the inside, And so later, after a while, you keep doing that. One of these times, she's going to be like, hey, didn't you just see me? So we got to stop with the disrespect. Another type of disrespect is when you with your friends and she walk over and you don't introduce her to nobody. Disrespectful. I don't care who these people are. You introduce them. And if you don't introduce them, make sure there is an absolute Bible written, Moses tablet carrying reason why you didn't, because that's disrespectful. And women take these disrespects and then hold them inside, you know, talking, standing there flirting with another woman, disrespectful. Even if you're just a flirty guy, if you flirting with another woman and your woman standing there, that's disrespectful. Looking at other women while your woman is right there, disrespectful. And after a while, women will get tired of all this disrespect. And I don't care how they feel about you. They could love you so much that they will sell their soul to the devil for you. But after a certain amount of disrespect, they're just like, you know what? I'm out of here. And your relationship is done. Oh, wow. That's interesting. Number three. Now, number three is a little controversial, but it was originally called lying, but I changed it to unnecessary lying. Because in relationships, we all lie. We all lie. We lie about she looks as good as she did when we first met her 30 years ago. We lie about I couldn't live without you. I couldn't, no other woman would want me. And we lie all the time. Women telling us, oh, you're the best I ever had in bed. And, all of this crap. We lie all the time. But unnecessary lying goes back to being disrespectful. Now, you might say, what's unnecessary lying? If your lady looked at you and said, honey, look, do I still, look as firm and as perky as I did when we met? And you said, baby, you haven't changed a day. This is a lie that they expect you to say because they know that they are not looking the same way they looked 30 years ago. They know that. But they don't want you to say, well, no, you don't look as good as you did 30 years ago because you're old and you're busted now. They don't want you to say that. They want you to confirm, even with that lie, that tells them how you feel about them. So you say, yeah, no, baby, you haven't aged a day. That is a necessary lie. Necessary lie. When she goes out of her way and break her neck to make you a birthday dinner and you put a piece of it on the floor and the dog run away from it, you're not going to, hey, listen, baby, I'm not eating this food. The dog won't even eat it. You're not going to say that. You're going to find some clever way to be nice about it. It's a necessary lie. Unnecessary lies is stupid stuff. Like the train got stuck in the train station and you didn't call to tell her, yo, I'm going to be late. I'm stuck in the train station. You come home and she's like, where have you been? And you're like, I was with Benny. Why would you do that? Because she's going to call Benny. And Benny's going to be like, nah, I'm here with Sharon. And now and it's like, well, why did you lie? Well, I didn't want to get you up. Get you, what? And maybe the train station was a bad illustration. You was with the new boss, and she was training you on the new system. But the new boss is banging, and your wife knows she banging. So now, instead of you saying, yeah, I had to stay after work to do some training with the new boss, you come up with some BS lie that they're going to catch you in. These lies are unnecessary. What happened to the money you were supposed to bring in? I decided to buy a computer from Best Buy. She's going to get mad still, but at least the inquiry won't be there. But you say, oh, the boss didn't pay me. They're going to owe me a day for next week. She's going to be looking for that money next week. Unnecessary lying is the most disrespectful thing you can do to a woman because she's going to catch you. Unnecessary lies can't be covered up, brothers. It can't be. And necessary lies are lies that are expected of you. Anyway. Number 4. This is a big thing with women. Women believe that they are supposed to be viewed by their man as the most important thing or person in their life. This is absolutely correct. women are to be looked at as the most important person in your life, especially if you're in a relationship like a marriage or moved in together or something like that. But when you start putting things, and I'm talking about unnecessary things, I'm going to say that. Because, if it's our anniversary, right? And we were supposed to go hang out on our anniversary, but the mortgage is due and I don't have enough money to pay it, and the boss is offering me overtime. That money's got to come first. So when we come back from vacation, we don't live in a cardboard box. Those things are completely understandable. But when you hanging out with your friends before you check on your lady, taking overtime unnecessarily before you check in, make sure your house is okay. Buying yourself stuff before you make sure your house is okay, or making sure your lady is okay. You see what I'm saying? When you put these things in front of her and she's always an afterthought instead of a forethought, then this is going to start to affect her, because it's going to be viewed to her that I'm not as important to you as the things you put in front of me. And that turns into a whole nother thing, brothers. You don't want no piece of that, but that could destroy your relationship. Number 5 is a big thing too. When you make no effort to try to understand her, brothers. I learned something about women when they talk to you or do things or what have you, is that sometimes they don't want answers. Sometimes they don't even care about the problem. Sometimes they just want to know that you get it. That you get it. And that you get her in it. I remember I was watching a movie called White Men Can't Jump with Woody Harrelson in it. And I forgot the lady's name that was in it, but they're in the bed together, and she looks over to him and she said, "Baby, I'm thirsty." So then he gets up out of the bed, and he goes and get a glass of water, and he comes back to her and he hands her the water, and she looks at him and she said, "Get away from me, you're a moron." So he said, "Why am I a moron? You said you were thirsty, I bought you some water." She said, "I didn't want no water. I wanted you to sympathize with the fact that I was thirsty." This was a TV show, but this is a very real situation. So when your lady is acting a certain way or saying a certain thing or talking to you about whatever, don't just listen to find an answer to the problem, because maybe she don't care about the answer. Don't just listen to hear her talk, because she might not care about that too. Listen to understand her position in the whole situation. Because when you do that, then everything else falls into place. And on that same vein, brothers, we are all guilty of it. There's no man who escapes this crime. And that is not communicating enough with her. For me, communicating about my financial situation, my medical situations, and stuff like that, just don't do it. It's like CIA secrets. Unless my back is against the wall and the doctor is like, "Listen, if you don't tell somebody, you're going to die tomorrow." If it's not that, or y'all come home and there's a notice on my door, you got 2 days to pay your rent or get out, then I start going, "Hey man, I need to borrow some money. Could you hit me off with some money?" But other than that, I don't talk about those things. I feel that they're private, and that's for me to know, for me to deal with. In a relationship that does not work, it does not work. She wants to know that two things. Number one, that she's part of the rescue plan, that she means something, or you think she's qualified to help you. That's what I'm here for. If you got a problem, I got a problem. We fix it together. And so when you isolate that from her, then you throw her out of that process. And then that's a very lonely, hurtful feeling. Number two, oh man, number two just slipped out of my head. I better stop this. But number two is that when you don't communicate with her, it makes her nervous. It makes her insecure because she don't know what's going on. And you won't tell her. But women are smart. They're intuitive. So they can tell, I don't know what it is, but something ain't right. I can smell it. There's something going on. He won't tell me. So if he don't tell me what's going on, here's what happens. And I swear to you, if Wonder Woman could put the lasso of truth on every woman, it happens to every woman. Is that if he won't tell me what's going on, then it could only be these things. And the whole process, the whole story starts building up. And it's either he won't tell me about his doctor's visit because he might be dying. Or maybe he's really sick. He won't tell me about his financial problems because maybe he lost his job. Maybe we're about to be evicted next week. And all these crazy thoughts start going up in their heads, and now they got to process and deal with it. And you have to now explain the whole story, the whole thing. Instead of if you could just communicate it from the beginning, you would have been all right. Well, those are the 6 things that men do that destroy relationships. So, brothers, now that we know, we got to stop doing these things. And if we stop doing them, it'll strengthen the relationships and we'll do better. I am EJ80 Proof, and this is Relationships. Thanks for watching.